These two parts are going to get mapped out and laid out using the Microscribe 3D Digitizer, just to get the dimension of the parts and all the critical features, slots, holes. Now that the tool is connected, first thing I'll do is use 3-point circles, and we'll just work in the top view so that you can see as much as possible. If I bring the cursor over, I can see it moving around on the screen. Touch the hole in 3 places. 1, 2, 3. Then right click, which is the top button. Control point curve. That should let me use the points to come along and drag the tip just inside the channel. Just hit the stop and rotate. Try and keep it on the same point as much as possible. This is really rough, but it'll make it easier to figure out. And then the last thing I want to do is make sure that it snaps back to where it started. You end up with a ugly but rough layout to work with of the arc.
Alright, so just picking up where I finished off to show you guys the rest of this for this job. So those holes are all, we've got our setup, they're spot drilled, then they're drilled through. Now next is going to be 2D adaptive. We're going to select local tool number 8 is a 3/16 flat eye mill. And all of the feeds and speeds are preset based on what I've been using. So I'm going to choose the contour at the bottom of the slot and that hole because they still need to be cleaned out. And then heights. You want to look at it from, I like to look at it from front on just to see where things are. So selected contours, just so that everything's nice and clean. We're going to let it go through a little more than the actual model, or than the actual stock. Yeah, that'll work. Actually, no, because it's going to be close to the vice jaw, so we're going to just leave that the way it is. And linking, we may not have to change a whole lot. The one nice thing is that we can click the pre-drill position. So we can click on this, and we can click on there, so that the tool will come down in those holes and I won't have to spend as much time interpolating. So that part's done. And it looks like we got an error, it won't do the slot. It may not be large enough. So let's just click on the whole thing, simulate, run through kind of quick. I don't know why that didn't speed up. Okay. So that means we're going to have to run an even smaller end mill to finish up that hole, no problem. 2D adaptive. Number 10, 1/8" ball end mill. There we go. Heights, stock and top and bottom. Optimum load, 25 thou. It's a little tiny guy. I don't want to, yeah, we can do a cleanup pass afterwards. In pre-drill position, click there. Say OK. And take some time to think about it. Almost there. Since it's a tiny little end though, I may have to do this in 2 steps instead of having the full depth of cut all in one shot, which is kind of unfortunate. But now if I go here and I go transparent, speed this up full tilt, and pause that for a second because it's not giving me much to look at. Take off transparent. Try to move it to an angle so I can see what's happening. And then slow this down because it's going real quick. So it's just going to work its way around and do slot clearing, which is totally fine. Okay. One thing we're going to do is we're going to edit this and we're going to do multiple depths because I don't think that tool is going to handle a quarter. I don't think an 1/8 inch tool is going to handle a 1/4 inch depth of cut. So we're going to do multiple depths. Step down. We're going to make it way smaller than that. I'm going to go 0.5. I'm going to leave stock to leave. Click OK. It's going to think a little longer. And while that's going on, it's getting there. The next step is going to be to do a 2D contour. And I don't know if this is worse because I'm using the software while the software is still thinking about the previous step. This is only at 70%, but it seems to be okay. So select contours. Select that bottom contour. Geometry, stock tops. And from there we've got not a lot we're going to change. I'm not worried about a pre-drill position because the tool is already being all the way through. What I'm going to do is open this back up and passes multiple depths, maximum roughing, step down 40 thou. I'm going to make that 50 thou. I don't think we need to be that soft. That's even a little excessive. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. That's okay. So now we have the whole first setup done. So we've got, and if we just kind of turn this on a bit of an angle, you get to see the spot, spot, spot. Slot cutting tool will come around. Speed it up for the sake of not watching the same thing over and over again. You can see the little circles it's going to make as it goes along through. It's the same color because it's still the same operation. And you can see it doesn't quite reach the lines because there's 20 thou stock to leave. And now we should be all the way through the part. There we go. So that's going to be the first step of this. Spot, spot, and slot. Now these 2 last steps will be taken out of, and just this hole will be done and this hole will be done. I could re-drill this guy. That's no big deal. But I'll probably just repost that one separately. After that's done, the next step is going to be using the same size piece of material as a fixture and lofting it down. Loft is the wrong word. And press pulling it it down in order to just create an outline and a shape, and then modify it a bit so that we've got these holes all lined up. So that'll be the end of this half of the video, and once the CNC is set up, we'll get the GoPro mounted up so that you can see the machining in action.